DorkLair action figure review. Today I'm taking a look at the Mezco 112 Collective Void Wars Void Cadet Gomez Red Eye Knight Edition. Diving right in with a close-up of the JEDI Gomez, as I like to call him, we have a variant of the Void Cadet, which I actually really wanted that figure, but I did not want to buy the whole thing with the mech and everything. I really liked the cosmic look of it. I liked how it was kind of like Mork and Mindy tribute a little bit there. And then, it came with the mech, so I didn't end up buying that one. And then other than that, there's not a lot of Gomez figures I've been truly excited about in a long time. The 112 Union Gomez, like that one, whatever. I'm more into the adventure type stuff. So this is exciting to have one that I'm like really pumped about. A little Star Wars reference, you can't go wrong there. And this one was obviously very low supply because it sold out in minutes. So hopefully the waitlist will convert for people. Maybe they'll do another run and put it back up for pre-order or something like that. But right now it's very limited supply. On the aftermarket, it's insane. Who knows what it's going to settle at, but right now it's in the like 300s. I would absolutely not pay $300 for this figure. I think it's a great figure and it's got a lot of stuff, and it's a $100 figure, but it's not perfect either. I actually had some breakage and I don't love the cape. I love the body. I love the suit underneath here. But overall, it's a good one, but not perfect. And so why don't we just start off with that cape? And like the Dr. Doom, if you watched my review of that one, this cape is wired along the front seam here and then the front seam here. Of course, the hood is wired too, which is fantastic. I love that part of it. But the fact that it's that same kind of suede-esque material and the fact that it doesn't have a lower wire here means it's going to just billow out in most poses. So if I kind of zoom it out here, like it's just gonna be billowed out like this, right? So it's kind of tough to pose around this cape. You have to sort of maybe fold it back on itself and kind of tuck it around and stuff to get it to be in sort of a somewhat natural pose. But yeah, it's just gonna pop up and billow out. I do like the tailoring at the shoulders. It gives it like a nice cut there, but then it just comes down and then out. Kind of reminds me a little bit of that 89 Batman cape. Also, you can see right here that I have a wire poking out, and I already trimmed it once, and I don't want to go too much further on trimming it, but yeah, unfortunately, I got a wire poking out there, and that's going to kind of annoy me a little bit. So yeah, I'm just, again, let down by the cape. Just in the pictures, it looked like it was going to be an awesome cape, but it's okay. Like it looks decent, but it just doesn't pose well at all. And let me know what you think about that. Am I overthinking it? Am I kind of like expecting too much out of the capes? I feel like the bottom wire is like essential to a good posing cape. One nice thing about the cape is that it does have these shoulder straps. So when you put it on there, it stays on very securely, and it can kind of like sit pretty well on those shoulders, and it stays down on those shoulders. So that's one nice thing about the cape. And for removing the cape, what I like to do is pop the head off here and then slide the head through and then get these through these holes right here. Get the antenna through the holes. And then once those are out of there, if I can weave them through gently, once those are out of there, then you can kind of bring the cape up over the neck and then slide it back off of the arms here, and then it comes off pretty easily. So yeah, so there's those hooks for the arms, and that's one of the nice things about the cape that overall I don't love. And so here's the figure with the cape off, and this look I love. I think this looks fantastic. I really wish the cape was awesome because it would have been such a good looking figure with that cape on. But that just means we can do the jetpack, we can do the other stuff, and focus on that instead. And unfortunately, I no longer have the lone roach to compare the colors of the heads here. I know some people were asking about that. I think I traded that away a while back, so I don't actually have that in hand. But I do love the look of the gray head sculpt with the red eyes. That's an awesome look. And I've actually done some red customizing on Gomez that I'll show you in the comparisons. So like red and Gomez just go really well, in my opinion. These shoulder pieces here and then this front piece are that very shiny, tacky vinyl. Like you can feel it, like it's grippy, you know what I mean? So real shiny. It's a little thick, like these, I wish they were, a little curved down on the shoulders a little bit. They kind of flatten out, but I mean, they still look really good. And I love the collar, he does have kind of a long neck. It is Gomez. And so having a collar like this goes a long way to kind of pulling the proportions together on the figure. And this is, I think, a pretty standard Gomez body. I think it's your usual tall Gomez buck. And other than these little vinyl pieces, the suit is very simple, but it's very well done. I think it's got just the right amount of looseness for awesome posing, and then it's also tailored really well, but it's not baggy either. Like, it's just the right amount of fabric or what have you. And the boots look really great as well. The hands are the same old hands we always get, but these are new boots. His feet are huge, by the way. Am I crazy, or does he have gigantic feet? I don't know. Like, I feel like his feet are a lot bigger than your average Gomez. No, I guess maybe I am crazy. They're about the same, maybe slightly bigger than a regular Gomez feet. And then here's a close-up of the belt that's got some nice silver accents and some pouches, and you can actually unpeg it very easily, nice and secure. It works really well. So nice piece there if you want to like take the belt off to put the accessories on. It's very simple, very straightforward. And here we have Gomez zoomed out so you can get an overall look at that body, which stands just about 6.5 inches tall to the top of the head, a little taller than that if you go to the top of the antenna, depending on how you pose them. For comparisons, here he is next to a couple other Gomez figures. On the left is my custom Blood Roach, which is really just a repainted gold head that I painted in a red color, and then I popped it right on the Agent Gomez. And on the right is the Roach with the Golden Gun Gomez with an alternate head from one of the other Gomez figures. Next, here he is with a couple other Gomez bodies. On the left is the Death Adder. On the right is the Ninja with a Diabolique head. Here he is with Mezco One on the left and Doc Nocturnal on the right. And of course, I had to bring in some Cosmic Legions. On the left is my Tusk Engineer part swap with Zarya's arms and legs. And on the right is the Cosmic Waltor the Mad with the Sligor head sculpt. And for those of you curious about how the Jedi Gomez might stack up to Star Wars, here are a couple Black Series figures. Two more Star Wars figures. Here we have a couple Bandai Tamashii Nations movie realization figures. On the left is C-3PO. On the right is the Ronin Mandalorian. And then just a couple other random lines you might be familiar with. On the left is the Mafex Superman from The Dark Knight Returns. And on the right is the Ramen Toys Quicksilver from their very short-lived Silverhawks line. For accessories, this figure is absolutely loaded, including the hands. It comes with 18 hands. So you've got a pair of fists over here, then some flat hands, and you have a splayed out gesturing hand. Then you have like a mixed pair. One's slightly clawing, and then one's like the old big grenade holding hand. Regular pair of like regular gripping hands, and then pointing single finger, pointing two finger. You have a couple different style trigger finger hands and the barrel holding hand, and then you have the middle finger right here, and then another kind of like martial arts style like pointing finger here. So 18 hands. Next, I want to talk about some of the gear, and this is the backpack setup that it comes with right here, and then it does have this face mask on the front here that plugs right onto the face. Very easy to put on, but this is where I had a problem. So it comes with this tube that is supposed to plug into the mouth right here, which it does fine. And then this plugs into the back right here on this piece here. But the first time I put it in there, when I pulled it out, the plug that is inserted into the tube, it was like glued into the tube, that came out. It was just so tight that I couldn't get it off without it just yanking off. So now this is stuck in here. No matter how much heat I apply, and like the tweezers I was using, I just couldn't get it out of there. So I contacted Mezco. Hopefully they will replace my backpack and tube so that I can have a functional, respirator for my Gomez here, because otherwise this is just useless. The backpack's still fine. I just can't use this tube at all right now. Putting the backpack on is very simple. It just has your classic clips. I mean, they're small and you got to get in there with your fingers, but it's very straightforward, very simple, and it does have a magnetic attachment for the jetpack here, which I love. I love the look of this jetpack. Somebody mentioned, potential Rocketeer thing going on here with this jetpack, and who knows, maybe they have a Rocketeer in the works. And the backpack does have peg holes for these booster effects. I wish the pegs were a little bit bigger. They feel a little fragile, but get those in, and then, yeah, then they look great. Nice transparent kind of yellow flames right there. Look really good. Pistol he comes with is beautiful. I love it. I love that it harkens back to the pistol that Luke uses in Jabba's palace. It's got a very similar kind of shape to it there, but also just a retro sci-fi blaster pistol. And then it does have a couple blast effects for the pistol. We've got this very small one, the one I had in the beginning of the video. And then we got this crazy kind of chaotic looking one right here. Pretty big too. And then we do have this big, huge sonic blast kind of effect, which I don't know, it feels a little heavy. I'm a little nervous with that, with breakage, but it does have a pretty nice look to it. Pretty cool. And then next up we have his saber, which has a light up feature. And this is basically the current rendition of Boom Boom. So it's a cassette player right here, right? With the little buttons, classic cassette player kind of thing. But it's also a battery pack. So inside this thing, if you shimmy this piece down right here, let me see if I can get it going on video here. So this bottom piece slides down. There we go. And then there's batteries inside there. You can see the 2 batteries right there. Very, very small, very little tedious kind of a task to get it in. But once you do, it works pretty well. And then sliding in, you got to make sure you pull this wire when you slide it back in. And then there's a switch on the side here. And it does come with a little piece so that you can switch it on. And I find that the light isn't very strong. Like it's there, but like you can barely see it with all my lights, obviously. But it's basically just a little bit of a purple light down at the bottom, and it kind of illuminates things a little bit here. Let me see if I can get some lights off of it. You can kind of see it a little bit there. And if you want, you can remove that blade right there, and then you can attach it to this piece over here. So, you know, weapon storage is always nice. And then next up, it has this 2-piece dome that you have to sort of take the head off first, and then you put this collar around the neck like this, I believe, like right about there. And then you can put the head back on, and then the dome comes in 2 pieces. You can see it's kind of slanted forward, so you can kind of tell which side is the front side there. And then that front side can go directly on his face here, and that can sort of squish together, and boom, there you go. That is awesome. That is a really cool look right there with that space dome. And honestly, he looks kind of rad with just that collar on there too. And I forgot to share that he does come with a holster for his pistol right here. And that fits on the belt rather nicely on the side. And he comes with a little grub version of himself, little Jedi apprentice right there. And then here's a look at the 5-inch round classic Mezco stand that all the figures come with. This is fantastic. In the box art and everything about this figure in terms of the art is amazing. It's really nicely done. Of course, it does also come with the flight arm. To me, the best flight arms in all of toys. These are the best in my opinion. And then it does come with the storage bag as well. Finally, for articulation, it's a Gomez. It's got a ton of articulation. These are just so much fun to play around with and to pose. Of course, you have the antennas on these little small ball joints, so you can move those around however you want. And then the head is on multiple points of articulation. I mean, it can look up really well, which is great for a jetpack character. Down like crazy. You can roll it side to side. Just an amazing amount of articulation in that head. The arms hinge up well past that 180 degrees. They can swing all the way up. There's a twist at the bicep. You have a double jointed elbow with just a crazy range right there. Then you have a split ball type of wrist peg. You have an upper torso ball joint and a lower torso, basically a waist ball joint. Tough to like isolate them separately, but together they have quite a good range of motion, and he can go side to side as well. And just, you know, again, excellent articulation. The leg can kick all the way forward, mostly of the way back. There's a twist at the thigh. The thigh can go out into the splits. I mean, he can pretty much do a full split. There's a double jointed knee, all the range you could ever want. And then there's a ball joint at the ankle, which actually gets a pretty good range. I know Mezco sometimes hit or miss with these ball jointed ankles, but it can kind of rock to the side a bit there for wider stances, and it's got some good up and down motion. And of course you can twist it. And again, I feel like his feet are huge, but hey, I guess that means he's a little more stable for standing. I don't think I showed the bottom of the feet before, but there is some nice little detail there as well. Final thoughts, this is an awesome release. It feels really good to be excited about a Gomez again. It's been a while since I have been. I didn't pick up the last few. One of them was too expensive, one I just wasn't into. And then also for it to be a Star Wars release, like it's kind of a tribute to Return of the Jedi, essentially, with some color swaps going on. I love this figure. It's fantastic. I do have some issues with mine, though. I don't love the cape, right? I don't really like the fact that they're doing these capes without that bottom wire. And it's got that suede material, which is also not that great either for posing around and playing around with. And I also had the issue with the breakage of that tube and that peg that got stuck into the backpack. So hopefully they'll fix that, but just be aware of that. Be very careful with yours. I would maybe try the other end, or I don't know, just be very careful with it. But that's what I'm here for, to kind of push things and hopefully help you avoid any issues like that. Anyway, thanks for watching my video, and until next time, may the Force be with you.